Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm AJ Bricks and this is set number 71833, Raz and Arin Super Stormjet from the Ninjago January 2025 wave for Dragons Rising Season 3. This set comes with 510 pieces, 3 minifigures and will retail for $44.99 in the UK and $54.99 in the US. Before I do get into the review, please like and subscribe as it will really support my channel and I'd really appreciate it. I've only got one more set to review after this one, which will be the Ultra Combiner mech. The rest of the reviews are already up on my channel, make sure to go and give them a watch. But with all that information aside, let's get into the review. So here is the mech and the dragon, and I'm going to remove the dragon because I want to talk about the jet first. Now to start things off, there are so many good things about this. The colour combination is just spectacular. I really like how the striking yellow is balanced out by the dark blue. Those are Arin's colour scheme. And then also the sharp angles on this. It reminds me a lot of Jay's lightning jet that we've gotten so many times in the past. And I think this jet is just as good as those. These are the colours that Arin uses in his design primarily, which basically makes this jet his, and the only part Raz has is the dragon. So starting over at the front of the jet, there's a sticker piece right here, and then 2 large swords, one on each side, and then we have the windscreen, and I really like how they didn't use the normal translucent white one, but they went with a more smoked out black windscreen. So when you do put Arin inside, you can barely see him, and that just kind of makes it more cooler, and all you gotta do is just lift it up and it rolls back, and then you have the inside of the cockpit. Inside there is a lot of space for the minifigures. There's this lever that they can hold on to and pilot the jet. And then there's also a console at the front, which is a sticker piece. It's got a mini picture of the whole jet and then some, this compass kind of thing, which shows it going left or right and what's approaching. And here is Arin sat inside. He cannot hold his sword, but you can hold this accessory right here and you just close it up. Because of the tinted black, you can barely make him out. And I kind of like that aspect. He has taken a darker path, so I like how he is kind of hidden. The main body of the jet, which is the middle section, has loads of stickers. There's 2 right here which are identical, as well as these 2. Now I guess this is some kind of machinery or ventilation, since it is an aircraft and it's going to need all of that. Then we have these hazard logos right here, and then some text in NINJAGO which read out danger. Now over here some trans blue cheese float pieces are used, and I think those are meant to represent the headlights, but overall it makes the build look really futuristic and high tech. And then we have the second cockpit. Now this one doesn't lift up as easily, you've got to remove the whole thing. And it's really up to you who you want to place in here. But with the figures that come in the set, I think it's meant to be for Raz. In my personal opinion, I don't think the dragon is going to be canon. I think that's just an extra play feature. And that Raz and Arin will both be piloting this jet. And it's actually reserved for Raz. So here he is. Going to place him in right there. And then close him up. And he is piloting the jet with Arin. Now this is also smoked out. Over on the sides of the body we have these parts which I think are armor. They also have some sticker pieces on them. The light blue I think is some kind of power source, showing that this jet is all charged up, and it just makes it more bulky and high tech and armored, ready to fly into battle. And then again there are some more sticker pieces right here, black arrows and stripes, and hopefully that is all so far. There are 2 identical sets of wings on each side. The top ones are connected to hinge joints. Those are part of the play feature, so these can move up and down. This is as high as they go, completely vertical, and then these are as low as they'll go. Now you've got to be more careful with these because I think they easily come off. You might accidentally lift it up more higher and then they just easily come off like this. But it's no big issue, it's still a big chunk and you just connect it back right on. The wings are quite large, making the build look bigger. They end off with these golden C-band pieces, and then it has this kind of ninja samurai star right here, and then we have loads more sticker pieces. These 2 are the same, where it's got some power running through it and some machinery. And then this is kind of different. I think that is meant to be ammunition. If I zoom in a lot closer, you can see that these right here look like, to me, bullets, which is surprising that they're including bullets in a kid's toy. I don't think Lego usually does that. Now this does have spring-loaded shooters, but bullets is a bit surprising. And then the sticker piece right here is some power flowing through. And finally, taking a look from the back, there is loads of things going on. Now this handlebar right here is for the dragon to be clipped onto. We have 2 big engines at the back with these trans blue dome pieces, which I think represents it being powered up and, in action. Now I'm not sure what this thing right here is. It sticks out a lot. I think it is for the dragon to rest on top of nicely and securely. But I think this red kind of makes it stick out in a weird way. And finally we have these new pieces in this wave attached to the wings. This time we get them in this purple and pink colour. And I think they represent the flames and fumes coming out. Now I think with the rest of the colour scheme, it looks pretty ugly. When you do put the dragon on, it does look slightly better. But without the dragon, which I wouldn't want to put on anyways, not that good. But those are easily removable, like this. I guess you could also move these right here, these Technic pieces. I have to remove these too. But in my opinion, looks a lot better. First up, you can detach the cockpit from the build. You just got to pull it out like this. Not sure what that does. A pretty weird play feature. But basically, it's got these two clips on the end right there, which hold onto the handlebars, as well as this long Technic piece, which makes it more secure and stable when you join it back on, just like this. The next thing is, like I mentioned before, the wings can be moved up and down. You can see that because I lifted it too high, it came off pretty easily. For me, I think the best part of this play feature is if I've got other sets on the sides and I need more room, I can just lift them up higher, move them out of the way. It kind of looks like a Star Wars spaceship. There are some built-in spring-loaded shooters, which you can see right here. They're in this lime green color. There's one on each side, and all you gotta do is push them inwards, and they go shooting out. And here is a better look at that. Now the shooters come in this lime green color, which look really odd and do not fit in the color scheme at all, but because they are pretty hidden when they're put in, I don't really mind. I really love the architecture of this jet. All the sharp triangular angles and also the parts that I use make it look so complete and smooth. But that was everything for the jet. Now let's take a look at the Dragon. Here it is, and it's a pretty small build. Here's how you connect the Dragon to the jet. On the Dragon, it's got this hand clip right here, and then you've got the handlebar right there on the jet, and you just clip it right in. And that also makes these brand new purple parts look a lot more better. The colour scheme is primarily black, gold and purple, which fits Raz really well. Although this time he is red and not purple. Now that I think about it, there's nothing really good to talk about. On its own, it isn't all that too special. It does look better on the jet when it's attached, but that makes the whole jet look weird, and I prefer the jet without the Dragon. It uses the same head mold as Ryu. That is pretty commonly used in this wave especially. Ryu uses it in Zane's Ultra Combiner mech, then Lloyd's Green Forest Dragon also uses it, and then it's also used right here. And the wings themselves do not move, only the golden swords do, and there's only two on each side, so the wings are pretty lame. And then the tail is also very short. It just has one section to it, and then the tail at the end. And that's about it. Then we have the seating area where Raz sits. But yeah, nothing too crazy or special about this. If I do leave it on its own, it wobbles. Here is the underside of it, which looks pretty hideous. That's all I have to say about this thing. So now let's take a look at the minifigures. First up, we have Arin and Raz. Now speaking of Raz first, he is the same as last year. Now that wouldn't have been an issue because last year he came in pretty expensive sets. So having him in a much cheaper set this year would have been fantastic. But he comes in the gimmick sets, which is around $20. So that's definitely not a selling point. I kind of wish that in this set at least it gave us a new version of Raz, particularly with the pink stripes, but everything else being the same, because that is how he currently looks in the show. I think that is a big missed opportunity, but because of that, there is nothing really new to say about him, since we've seen him last year. Nonetheless though, he is a pretty cool minifigure. The head mold is fantastic, as well as the printing. There is so much and it's so detailed. We've got it on the legs, toes, as well as the arms. Both arms actually. And then here is the back of him, where he's got the wolf emblem. Now Arin has a brand new suit, and it's a much more interesting one this time. He's got the new storm hood to match the rest of the ninja, which of course is amazing because that means we get to complete the whole line. Removing the hood, Arin's still got the same face printing we got from Dragon's Rising Season 1, where he's kind of smiling in this one. And then he's got no alternate face print, it's just the back of his yellow head. Now that he's joined Raz, and his character is taking a darker path, they could have given us a more angrier or serious expression. We've got one for Jay, so I wish that Arin got one too, because his arc is definitely going to be more important in the show, more than ever, so that being translated into the sets would have also been super cool. Now his suit design is just spectacular, especially with his left arm, and then also I think that is going to be his scarf. It's just pretty neat. It really translates his villain arc from the show. And then I think from his last minifigure, which was in the Tournament of Sources wave, he was wearing a green belt, which of course green links with Master Lloyd, and he was his student, so him going from green to black just really reflects how he's left the ninja. He's got that tassel on the right side of his leg in gold, which is reflective and shiny in the light, and I'm pretty sure that that is his logo. Maybe it's an A for Arin, of course, but the standout of his design is definitely this printing right here of this dragon. In this magenta purple, that is most definitely going to be Thunderfang the Chaos Dragon. Turning him over, you can see his black scarf at the back, as well as the rest of the dragon. And if I zoom in, you can see there is some Ninjago text on the tail, which reads out Arin. Now this is also not the cheapest way to get Arin. He comes in the gimmick set, the same gimmick set which Raz comes in, the Dragon Spinjitzu Battle Pack. So because these two do come together, if you're simply just going for the minifigures, you should definitely go for the gimmick set. since that is way cheaper. Now let's take a look at the final minifigure, and that is the Dragonian Warrior. These guys get the full armor. They have the dragon head on top. You can see the red eyes molded in the dragon's head. And then they have their shoulder armor piece, which has 2 studs on the back, and that is so that you can attach these mini dragons onto their backs. From the front, it gives these guys the illusion that they can fly, because you can't really see the dragon at the back, so it looks like the wings are growing out of their body, but it's just a dragon attached to their back. Removing their armor, we get a better look at their torso and face printing. You can see these guys look really sinister. They have these tan bushy facial hair and very large teeth, and then also these bloodshot orange eyes, which seem to be glowing. Their alternate face print are these flames, making it look like their head is engulfed in fire, and there's a reason for that, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Their torso and leg printing is also really detailed. You can see that there are some scratch marks on their armor plates. Those are probably scratches from their battles, and it drops down to their legs as well. Then for their toe printing, they've got some claws, and then on their legs and behind the armor, it looks like some fur which is creeping out. Turning them around, you can see the same armor on their backs. Now if I put their armor back on with the alternate face print, it looks like the dragon's going to be shooting out a fireball at you. So that was Raz and Arin Super Stormjet, and you can definitely pass out on this set. That is because there are no exclusive minifigures or collectibles, and you can get all of these minifigures for much cheaper. But that aside, I think you should still definitely buy this set. The concept is awesome. You have a ninja willingly teaming up with a villain and coming together in this vehicle. Now the colour scheme and design does say otherwise. The jet is mainly Arin's, with Raz only having the mech dragon, which is just a small portion of the whole build. But let's just ignore that, especially because there's a second cockpit which Raz can sit inside of and pilot the jet too. But those are my thoughts and opinions on this set. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.